In the last class, we have discussed regarding treatment of extraordinary items and proposed dividend of cash flow statement. Now we are going to discuss about shares and debentures. Some important tips are there, and I'm trying my level best to provide the best possible questions and doubts of yours. However, in spite of all my best efforts, if there is some doubt, please call me as per your convenience, but that too up to 10 o'clock. I'll answer your questions as per my comfortability. And apart from that, I am planning to conduct one crash course for the mediocre and the slow learner in the month of December. So keep viewing our channel, subscribe it so that you can get the notifications in advance and like it. Today basically we are concerning only for the debentures and issue of shares. There are some important topics which are to be covered while talking about shares. First of all, कुछ चीज समझ लो, very important. Minimum subscription so far as share and debentures both are concerned, that is 90%. Without 90% receipt of 90% of the total of shares issued or debentures issued, it cannot be issued and or it cannot be allotted unless and until we receive minimum 90%, or else it is to be refunded within the next 15 days. Right? So, and second one, as per section 39 of Companies Act, minimum application should be 5% of the face value as per Indian Companies Act 2013. It may be a short question. It may be a short question. Minimum 5% of face value or nominal value as per Indian Companies Act 2013, and as per SEBI, it should not be less than 25% of issue price. These two things are confusing items. 5% of face value in case of Companies Act and 25% of issue price in case of SEBI. Be careful. Second one is in case as per section 54, sweat equity shares can be issued at a discount. Normally we know that shares cannot be issued at discount, but so far as sweat equity is concerned, there may be question that as per sections will be given, may be given. That is important. And treatment of securities premium, section 52. There are few sections which should be remembered. There may be questions, right? Now, so far as shares are concerned, some important items are there. Shares. Normally, issue of shares for cash, for concession other than cash, issued at par, premium. These things you know. Regarding that issue of shares in pro rata basis and forfeiture and reissue and calculation of reserves, transfer to capital reserve, that is important, right? आप लोग कुछ जो भी डाउट्स हो पूछ लेना. Now suppose 10,000 shares issued. 10,000 shares issued and applications were received for say 18,000 shares. First part. That is said that suppose first part, shares are issued in the ratio of shares are issued in the ratio of 5:4. Shares are issued in the ratio of 5:4. You may expect this type of questions, right? When I said 5:4 means 5 applied, 5 applied and 4 allotted. There may be two types of questions. You can work it out in two ways. If I do in this way, say that for every 5 applied, number of shares allotted 4. So if I apply 18,000, total number of shares to be allotted 4 by 5 into 18,000, it will be how much? 14,400 shares. But total number of shares available is 10,000. We cannot issue more than 10,000 shares. At that time, apply the reverse way. Reverse way in the sense, for every 4 shares to be allotted, or I can say to allot 4 shares 5 applications required. To allot 4 shares, 5 applications required. So to allot 10,000 shares, number of applications required will be 5 by 4 into 10,000. That is 12,500 applications. Means applied for 12,500, allotted 10,000, and applied for 5,500, they were rejected or allotted nil. That were normal calculations as we do. Right? Next one. Another important aspect. Suppose the question says 10,000 shares issued, payable as 4 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1 and 1 plus 1. Applications were received for 12,000 shares and allotment was made pro rata. If question is silent, the shares can excess application money can be adjusted only up to allotment. Unless and until specifically given that it is to be adjusted towards allotment and call. After allotment, if some surplus money is there, that is to be refunded forthwith. Right? So now the calculation will be for application money received. Calculation should be very neatly done. It is 12,000 into 4 plus 1. Avoid writing 12,000 into 5. Avoid writing 12,000 into 5 directly. 12,000 into 4 plus 1, that is 48,000 plus 12,000. Then application money used, that is 10,000 into 4 plus 1, that is 40,000 plus 10,000. Now there is a surplus of 8,000 plus 2,000. Now allotment due, that is 10,000 into 2 plus 1, that is 20,000 and 10,000. Now be careful. Surplus amount, this 10,000 should be adjusted first towards capital. That means the surplus 10,000 rupees will be appropriated towards capital first. So receivable amount will be 10,000 towards capital and 10,000 towards premium. Right? So instead of adjusting this 8,000 against this 20,000, adjust the entire 10,000 against 20,000 capital amount due, and 10,000 still it is due or receivable, and premium is also due. Right? One more thing, while calculating the allotment of shares under pro rata basis, just see, at that time, prepare one table, number of applications received, then application money received, number of shares allotted, application money used, then surplus adjusted in allotment, adjusted in first call. I don't think that sufficient amount is there to transfer to second call. That will see it. Now in the first case, see, he has applied for 5,000 shares, must have given application money 5,000 into 4, that is 20,000 rupees. We have allotted 3,000 shares. We must have used 3,000 into 4, 12,000 rupees. Now there is a surplus of 20,000 minus 12,000, that is 8,000. At the time of allotment, our requirement will be 3,000 into 2, 6,000 rupees. Still there is a surplus of 2,000 that will be adjusted towards a first call. Had there been excess money, it would have been transferred to second call and that refund. Second one applied for 8,000, must have given 8,000 into 4, 32,000. We have allotted 6,000, must have used 6,000 into 4, 24,000. And the surplus is 32 minus 24, 8,000. At the time of allotment, our demand will be 6,000 into 2, 12,000. But we have a surplus of 8,000 that is to be adjusted. And in third case, applied for 2,000, must have given 2,000 into 4, 8,000. We have allotted only 1,000 share. So 1,000 into 4, that is 4,000 will be adjusted towards application. Now surplus will be 4,000. Right? At the time of allotment, we need 1,000 into 2, 2,000 rupees. Still there is a surplus of 2,000. At the time of first call, the total adjustment will be 1,000 into 3, that is 3,000 rupees. So in this way also you can work out. It will be easier. Now find out the amount received, application money received, application money used, adjusted in allotment and adjusted in call. We can easily pass the journal entries. Now this will be how much? It will be 60,000. It will be 40,000. This one 16,000 and it is 5,000. So on receipt of money, we can write down bank account debited to share application account 60,000. Then share application account debit to share capital account 40,000. To share allotment account 16,000. You can write share first call, you can write calls in advance. If the question says not to open, to open calls in advance account, you can write it. Otherwise, you can write share first call, no issues. Sometime in the question it may be given without opening calls in advance account. At that time, you have to use share first call account. Right. So mixing all the different categories in one group, don't do it. Right. So separately you have to work it out. Right. Next one, pro rata and forfeiture. 2,000 shares issued, applications received 2,400 shares. Number of shares issued 2,000, applications received 2,400, and the amount is payable as 5 plus 1, 2 plus 1. This one relates to premium. This indicates premium, and 1 plus 1 and 2 plus 1. Application, allotment, first call and final call. And it is suppose given that excess application money to be adjusted towards allotment and call. Okay? So the application money received will be how much? And it is also given, suppose that the another two term. One is holder. Holder of 60 shares did not pay allotment and first call and were forfeited. Holder of 60 shares did not pay allotment and first call and were forfeited. This one. Holder. Holder means the person who was allotted. So he was allotted 60 shares. So we have to calculate the number of shares he has applied for. Right? So let us first calculate it. That will pass the entries. Now, the holder of 2,000 share, holder of 2,000 shares applied for 2,400 shares. holder of 60 shares must have applied for 2,400 by 2,000 into 60, it will be 72 shares. So we must have received application money on 72 share. So application money received is equal to 72 into 5 plus 1. That is 360 plus 72. Application money used is equal to 60 into 5 plus 1. That is 300 plus 60. So surplus is equal to 60 plus 12. Right? Now, at the time of allotment due, that is 60 into 2 plus 1, 120 plus 60. As I told earlier, the surplus amount will be adjusted towards capital first. Right? So the receivable amount will be, or here it will be arrear. The arrear is equal to, how much it is? 48 plus 60. So he's not paying 48 plus 60, that is 108 rupees, and later on he did not pay first call and we have forfeited. This is first part calculation. And another one, we have to calculate that how much amount we have received. Application money received is 2,400 into 5 plus 1. Application money received 2,400 into 5 plus 1, that is 12,000 plus 2,400. The application money used 2,000 into 5 plus 1, that is 10,000 plus 2,000. Surplus is 2,000 plus 400. Allotment due 2,000 into 2 plus 1, that is 4,000 plus 2,000. So this amount has been adjusted towards capital. So we need to receive another 1,600 plus 2,000, that is receivable. So if we want to forfeit the shares, this 60 holder of 60 shares, if I want to forfeit, called up amount is how much? We have called for application, we have received. We have called for allotment, we have partly received, and first call we have not received. So the capital account will be debited with how much? 5 plus 2 plus 1 called up amount, that is 8 rupees. So the entry will be share capital account debit. Share capital account debited, that is 60 into 8. Don't write in this way. 480. Securities premium account debit, the amount due but not received. Securities premium account debited, that is we have not received this 1 rupees and we have not received this 1 rupees, 2 rupees. 60 into 2. 2 calls in arrear, due but not received. How much? We have not received this 108 and we have not received this amount also. 108 plus 120, that is 228. 2 share forfeiture account, the amount we have already received towards capital. This is the amount you have already received towards capital. This 300 and this 72. This is the amount we have already received, 372 rupees. This is the procedure. Right? Doubt क्या दे दो? Doubt दे दो. Pro rata allotment of 25% of the shares applied to every applicant to apply the balance of application money towards the amount due on allotment and refund balance amount. Now see the total question. Now the question says 10,000, 1 lakh equity shares are issued. 1 lakh equity shares are issued. Payable as 50 rupees each. That is 10 rupees on application, 15 rupees on allotment, again 15 on first call, and 10 rupees on second and final call. Applications were received for 4 lakh shares. This is the applications received. And the question says, allotted 1 lakh shares in full for selected applicants, and applications for the remaining 3 lakh were refund. Sorry, pro rata allotment of 25% of the shares applied for to every applicant means pro rata allotment 25%. Pro rata allotment of 25% of shares applied to every applicant means whoever, maybe if you have applied 100 shares, he will be getting 25. Means if he has applied for 4 lakh, applied 25% of 4 lakh is equal to 1 lakh, he will be allotted 1 lakh shares. Right. And the question says to apply the balance of application money towards amount due on allotment and refund the balance. Means if you are receiving, how much we have received? 4 lakh into 10. We can adjust the excess application money only up to allotment. Thereafter the excess money to be refunded. Got it? So we must have received 4 lakh into 10, that is 40 lakh rupees. We have allotted only 1 lakh shares. So 1 lakh into 10 adjusted towards application, 10 lakh rupees. There is a surplus of 30 lakhs. On allotment, the due amount is 1 lakh into 15, that is 15 lakh. Now the surplus remaining is 15 lakh is to be refunded. This is the amount to be refunded. Right.